These are two different roller coasters with the same colors, same theming on the trains, and they are built right next to each other. It can be the one and only PowerPark. It's Finland's largest amusement park resort. The area features an on-site hotel, restaurants, an international level karting center that has hosted the Karting World Championship, and of course, the theme park Powerland, which now generally just goes by the name PowerPark. We'd drive up to PowerPark the night before, where the sun was strangely out just before midnight, and we'd arrive at the opening to this busy park. There's a side entrance to the park for hotel guests that moved much quicker than the main entrance, but the parking is paid in this area, and it's definitely recommended that you arrive to this park 30 minutes before it opens at least, because these lines to get in do move extremely slow. People buy tickets at the gate, and really you'll get a ton done in the first 20 minutes that the park is open because of this. PowerPark, Finland. This is about a 5-hour drive from Helsinki, so we're really way up there on the top of the globe now, and it doesn't really get dark at night, any of that stuff, so at like 2 a.m. the room is already bright, which is kind of frustrating if you like to sleep in the dark. Yeah, we're gonna go in here. There's two Gerstlauers inside. They look exactly the same, which is kind of funny, but one is a lift hill, one's a launch, so they're very different. When PowerPark built this second Gerstlauer coaster, it actually gained attention for oddly having the same exact colors. A strange rumor even started that the layout of Junker, the original launch coaster that was here, was just being extended because of all the similarities. It's an odd choice, and it really can look like one large coaster as you pull up to the park, and I actually wonder how many guests ride one and think they've ridden both. This amusement area is quite new, with the theme park opening in 2002. If you look at the history, the park is likely on pace to open another large attraction before 2030, as it really has grown to be quite a large area in just the approximate 20 seasons that it's been operating. 7 roller coasters are here scattered throughout the park, a few of them being family and kid coasters and some high thrill rides, plenty of flat rides as well, and a water ride and shooting dark ride. This park is pretty lightly themed, but it does have a mix of carnival rides and then a mix of permanent rides. The setting is very nice though, and the park is very well taken care of. You may recognize the wooden coaster here, Thunderbird. It was so well received that it was cloned by Six Flags just 2 years later as Evel Knievel at Six Flags St. Louis. This compact GCI, or Great Coasters International manufactured ride, is smooth and it runs nicely. It's a really compact twister layout, and it uses those standard Millennium Flyer trains. The park's also got a boomerang model. It's one of the smoother and possibly the best boomerang model that I've ever done from Vekoma. Cobra is unique in that it has these open-sided trains. It's the first boomerang to ever feature these trains, and it really ran incredibly well. I'll tell you, I've never wanted to ride a boomerang model more than once, but if I returned here, I might actually ride this again. There's a portable model from L&T Systems, a spinning mouse, and also a kid coaster back in the woods. These are the mid-size coasters that the park has to offer. The theme park also has a fun boat ride from manufacturer Interlink. It's a pretty unique one in that the drop goes right through a bridge, a cool little feature with a straight turn after, a very different style versus other flumes that you're used to. But of course, the two standout rides and the main reason for our visit here way up north in Finland are the two Gerstlauer built roller coasters, one with a launch, the other with a vertical lift hill. Pitt Special can be considered a high thrill family coaster as it does not go upside down, but it still features a large drop and that vertical lift. It's a pretty odd coaster with some drawn out sections because of the entrance pathway that it travels over. The larger elements aren't too extreme, they're stretched out, and there's really minimal airtime through some of the layout. It's a pretty strange build, especially because it is such an intimidating looking coaster with really only 1 or 2 extreme moments. It does look nice, and I personally like how it matches Junker. I think it gives a nice, clean, and cohesive look, especially from outside the park as you come in. The highlight of the park has to be Junker, and the line was very long for this ride throughout the day. The park does close the queues early to make sure that all the rides are completed running with guests at the closing time of the park. But if the queue's empty before park closing, the line will reopen. So because of this, we were able to get quite a few rides in the last hour of park operating hours because the queue kept closing and then reopening. So if the queues are closed at the park for certain rides at the end of the day, you may get lucky with them reopening. So stick around and check every so often until the park is closed to see if these rides do reopen. Junker was a pretty sought-after ride for me. These are really smooth-running coaster models with unique elements, and they can feature really quick drops and transitions, a very unique feel to them because of the very short vehicles. I've been on almost all of the Gerstlauer Infinity coaster models now, and I will say this is one of the best. I think it is the best. The launch is extremely kicky, it goes straight into this awesome top hat, and then it does what this coaster model does best, the high negative G's, mixed with strong moments of positive G's. I can now say that I rode through a finish loop in Finland. You hit the mid-course and really the ride still does a good job with throwing some unique feeling elements at you that really come with quick transitions and fast snappy moments and a really fun 0G roll, with the banking entering from the opposite direction and then finishing off the same way. This third inversion is really fun because of how much you spin through it. It is the best Gerstlauer Infinity coaster. It's a close call between Monster at Adventureland and this, but I really do give the edge to this coaster because of the awesome top hat and that really crazy launch. The food and beverage options are pretty decent in the park. I do recommend eating here. There were plenty of sit-down options or quick service options, and some healthier options that were better than most parks. The only major drawback to PowerPark is really that remote location. It is not as accessible as some other well-known theme parks. But the trip was fun, and I could see myself coming back here. If another big coaster pops up, I'd make the journey up again. I really do recommend this park if you're one of those people that would travel all the way to Finland for amusement parks. I think you should add this to your list. And you can pair the park with Sarani and also Linnanmäki. Sarani is right in between these two parks, Linnanmäki and PowerPark. A few hour drive south, we go to this Finnish theme park the next day, and it's got a very rare coaster model, the Intimate Suspended Coaster, and really the only one left that's a full circuit with Heartline rolls. This has really got to be one of the best inversions to look at, just with these inverted cars going through this weird element with the track rotating around them. So we would be there the next day to ride Tornado, very sought after coaster, especially since I haven't ridden Volcano in many years. This is really a bucket list ride. So until next time, over at Sarani and the Intimate Invert Tornado, thanks as always for watching these little reviews, and see ya.